Solve the following equations. 48 divided by 3x minus 2 is equal to 3. Right, the problem with equations for the fractions is that there's always something in the denominator, and what you need to do is try to remove the denominator of the equation so that it becomes like a normal linear equation and therefore easy for you to solve. Got to remember the two principles of solving equations. Solving an equation is about balance and opposites. So here we are dividing by 3x minus 2. So the opposite thing to do to both sides, because that's the balance bit, is to multiply by 3x minus 2. If you multiply this side of the equation by 3x minus 2, it just becomes 48 because these two things would cancel out. But because you've done it to this side, you also have to do it to the other side. So we're going to write in 3 times 3x minus 2. Now we have reduced this to an equation perhaps which we're more familiar with and which we can now solve. Of course, you need to know how to solve this type of equation first. So the next step here would be to expand brackets. So this side will still be 48, but on this side we're going to do 3 times 3x, which is 9x, and then 3 times minus 2, which is minus 6. Then the opposite of minus 6 is to add 6. What we're trying to do is to put x on its own. So we add 6 to both sides. So 48 plus 6 gives me 54. 9x minus 6 plus 6 just gives me 9x. The opposite of multiplying by 9 is to divide by 9 on both sides. So 54 divided by 9 is 6. And 9x divided by 9 is x. So just because the x has come out on this side, it does not matter. X is equal to 6. Notice we keep all the equal signs in a straight line in a column, therefore to imply balance. Right, the second one. 3 over x minus 2 is equal to minus 5 over 3x minus 2. Again, the problem is we've got fractions here, but there's one easy step with this type of equation in order to make it just a straightforward linear equation, and that is to do what we call cross multiply. This is of the type a over b is equal to c over d. All we do is we do a times d and b times c and put them equal to each other, and this process is called cross multiply. You can only do it when you've got this sort of format, so it doesn't apply to all the equations. So cross multiplying, you've got 3 times 3x minus 2 is equal to minus 5 times x minus 2. So what I've done, I've taken that up here and this up here, and in doing that we remove the denominators, and therefore it's an equation which we're now more familiar with. We now need to expand the brackets. So expand the brackets, we need to do 3 times 3x, which gives you 9x, 3 times minus 2, which gives you minus 6. Now being careful because we've got a minus 5 outside the bracket this time, we've got minus 5x, and then minus 5 times minus 2, well, minus times a minus gives me a plus, and 5 times 2 gives me 10, so we get plus 10. Right, now we've got an equation, a linear equation with x unknown on both sides. Now the main thing is to look at 9x and 5x and decide which one is the smaller of the two. Well, minus 5x is far smaller than 9x. So the next thing we're going to do is do the opposite thing of the smaller term, which is to add 5x to both sides. It's important that we do it to both sides. That gets the idea balanced. So 9x plus 5x gives me 14x. We've still got the minus 6. Minus 5x plus 5x gives me nothing, but we still have the plus 10. Right. Obviously next we're going to just add 6 to both sides. So it gives me 14x on this side. 10 plus 6 gives me 16. The opposite of multiplying by 14 is to divide by 14, so we're going to get that x is equal to 16 over 14. And the tactic would be to obviously cancel down if we can. So 2 goes in both 16 and 14, so x is equal to 8 over 7. And it's okay to leave it as an improper fraction. The last question, 4 minus 3 over x is equal to minus 2. What makes this equation difficult? The x is here in the denominator. However, if we multiply every term through by x, so we get 4x. Now when we multiply this term by x, we get minus 3x over x. It just leaves we with minus 3. And that's equal to, and you must remember to also do it to the other side. So whatever we write down here, we are doing to both sides of the equation. Again, we now look for the smaller of the two, 4x and minus 2x, and the smaller term is minus 2x, so we need to do the opposite thing, which is to add 2x to both sides. So 4x plus 2x gives me 6x, so we've still got the minus 3. Now if we've got minus 2x plus 2x, that actually gives me nothing, so we can just write in 0. We've now got minus 3, so we now add 3 to both sides, so we now get 6x is equal to 0 plus 3, which is 3. Now we will divide by 6 on both sides, so dividing by 6 on both sides, we're going to get that x is equal to 3 over 6, and then we need to cancel down. So we cancel down 3 over 6, we're going to get 1/2. X is equal to 1/2. So the key points are: A, try to reduce the equation which has fractions in it to one which does not. Usually just by multiplying through by the denominator, or the common denominator, and also sometimes we'd have to do this thing called cross multiplying. And then we need to remember that solving equations is about balance and doing opposites. I hope you find this video useful.